Stop making it about money, old sport. Money's vulgar. Let's make it about the cars!
You know, I know when I was a kid and I come to car shows, you get discouraged when people have $1 million restoration
right.
stuff. How are you going to compete?
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, come on.
So I thought it'd be fun just to have something more egalitarian, you know?
You look like a truck stuff kind of guy.
Yep.
I'm Casey. Tyler. What's up, people? Today we are going to the Audrains Newport Concours d'Elegance and Motor Week, which is a really long way of saying super fancy car show. And I think it's gonna be fun, and you're gonna see a bunch of supercars and old stuff. But that could be boring, especially for YouTube, because I kind of want to misbehave. I have nothing important to do today. So like any proper millennial, I'm going to blame my misbehavior upon somebody else. And that somebody else is all of you, my YouTube fans. We hit 20,000 subscribers, and to celebrate, you all antagonized me and said that I should dress up as Jay Gatsby and crash the Concours. And I don't have the good sense not to do that. See you there. So, this is already absurd. To give you an example of how absurd this is, that's actually the Gatsby Mansion, literally from the Robert Redford movie in the 70s. The one with DiCaprio was done later, and as Hollywood is lazy and wants to fuel that industry, that's mostly CG based on somewhere else. But this is legit. This is where F. Scott Fitzgerald novel became reality in the 70s, and that's kind of cool. And I actually have these clothes, and somehow you stick them together and it works. And for all of you that remember from VinWiki, I became the real-life Gatsby with an Auburn Bowtail Speedster, which is fun. But I want to show you something. So I got some newspapers here from Newport, and the first thing I noticed, which made me depressed, was they play polo here, which is awesome. But I missed the entire season, which is very disappointing. And polo is an ancient war sport. It's actually dangerous and glamorous and fun and cool, and I like horses, so that's great, but I can't do that. So, relating to the Concours, here's the deal. They're actually really nice here and care about education and young people and want to do that, but they don't really know how. And they're interested in bringing Genius Garage in the future, and I'm interested in doing that. And I think the point of the Concours that's difficult in this day and age, where people just miss the boat, is this. So here's a Newport newspaper, and on the cover you've got a beautiful chateau and some McLarens. Of course, McLaren is a major supporter here, and the CEO of McLaren Formula One, Zach Brown, was here yesterday. But this is where I think you're missing the boat, guys. And the first two sentences of this say, car fanatics will be able to view more than $1 billion worth of rare and luxurious automobiles during the Audrain Automobile Museum's Newport Concours and Motor Week, being held October 3rd through the 6th. Some of the world's most expensive and unique cars. Okay, that's where I'm gonna stop you. The mass populace doesn't care how much something costs. They care if they like it or not. You should be focusing on the cars and the fun people and the actual nice people and the car people and everything that's going on here. It should be the best celebration of the automobile and style. Concours d'Elegance means parade of excellence in French way back when they would parade out the newest fashion trends in cars. So, I'm gonna say is basically the Jay Gatsby right now. Stop making it about money, old sport. Money's vulgar. Let's make it about the cars! All right, let's go crash the Concours. We're at the Concours, and I brought my wife, who's a brunette, which is better than the blonde in the Gatsby movie. It's more like Jordan, the sultry golfer. That would have been the better choice. That's neither here nor there. So anyway, tell you what, let's go find the 30 under 30 class first. These are all the people that are under 30 years old and have less than 30 grand in their car. So come on.
Yeah, this is my Corvette. Right?
My name's Casey.
Hey, Matt McKenzie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. Would you tell everybody about your car and also how you came to get here?
Yeah, sure. So I bought this at a yard sale when I was 14.
Really?
Yeah, and
was it like this, or did you restore it?
It was, well, it was this color.
Okay.
And it had that engine.
Yes.
And it had the bumpers, and it had the.
And you're from North
same
Carolina?
color. I am. Yes,
okay.
sir. And but it just looked like this, but really bad.
Okay.
So it had different hubcaps on it at the time. So we didn't. This is the only piece of the car that hasn't been truly restored.
Yes.
It's been.
The engine was pretty
took
decent.
the engine
You guys
out,
cleaned it up, made it right.
Yeah, it was seized. It sat for a long time. Yeah. And then we took the engine out, cleaned it out, got it to where it would actually run and drive.
What are all the big aspects of the car and the build that you did?
Well, we had to completely get the body straight, and that was a long process.
I bet.
Had upholstery, and the whole entire floor was rusted.
So you had to totally replace that.
Yeah, totally replace that, replace the fenders and things like that.
Are you a mechanic or?
Hey, all right.
Jay.
I'm not. I just love the cars. So.
Hey Jay.
What's up?
Casey again with Gene's Garage. I'm doing a YouTube video, and it was your doing to make the 30 under 30 class. Could you tell everybody why this is important?
Well, I think it's important because, you know, I know when I was a kid and I come to car shows, you get discouraged when people have $1 million restoration
right.
stuff. How are you going to compete?
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, come on.
So I thought it'd be fun just to have something more egalitarian, you know. It's funny because like on my website, you put a Lamborghini or something up, you get 600, 700,000 views. You do a Datsun 510, the guy's tricked out with Webers.
Yeah.
You get 2.5 million hits, and you realize that's what most people relate to. I mean, the fantasy stuff, the Ferraris and things are great, but how many people can really drive them, and how many really do drive them?
Exactly. My Viper was just on Petrolicious, and that one blew up because everybody liked it being Dodge. And
oh yeah, that's what I mean.
Midwest.
Yeah, that's just great, and this one's beautiful.
Well,
too.
and you've got a nice Corvette yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I've got the Is that the original carburetor?
I don't know. The owner's right here. Ask him. He built it.
That's the original.
This is the carburetor that was in when I got the car.
Okay. I mean, these are funny because nothing happens till you hit about 4,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you get like this.
Yeah, it's like life could down.
Yeah.
What's the turbo like on this carburetor?
I know, we're just talking to the owner.
Well, it's the first.
Yeah, we've been waiting. We've been waiting.
The Oldsmobile was the first.
Yeah.
But this is the more popular. And there's no wastegate.
Right. And the carburetor's upstream, so it's downdraft.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
not
it's
being
kind of, it doesn't do a, you know, once you get above $4,000, you get,
yeah, I know,
you feel a little
yeah,
spoiled, but not much.
It eases into it.
Notice the Sprees in the 80s, they actually put their carburetor between the manifold and turbocharger.
Casey and Jay have met a couple times.
No, I don't know though.
They're doing the same thing you guys want to run the 30 on.
Do you ever have any issues with the fan belt going through two different planes? And
Yeah, I bring two fan belts.
You carry an extra fan belt, but I've never thrown one.
Yeah.
And I've got a Yanko. It's got the 4 carburetors on it.
I've only thrown one once just because it wasn't tight enough.
Oh, was it really?
It gets that bounce.
Yeah.
Whenever it's.
I used to hear when the Yankee guys or whatnot raced them, they had a spare belt handy in the.
It looks great.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, it's. I got it when I was 14, so it's come a long way.
Very good.
You look like a truck stuff kind of guy. Yeah. I'm Casey. Tyler. Nice to meet you, Tyler. Tell everybody about your truck.
This is just something we slapped together over the last 3-4 months.
Really, that quick?
Yeah.
What did you start with? What did this look like when you started?
We started off, let's see, way back with a pile of Christmas tree signs, pile of parts. We went all the way, we built the motor over the winter.
What block you got in there?
It's a 350.
Okay.
And then, yeah, built it.
Nice.
And then we took the truck apart.
Nice.
Yeah.
What kind of compression? What kind of?
It's 10 to 1.
10?
Probably like
That's
450,
pretty reasonable.
450 horse.
And you guys build it up in your garage?
We're in the driveway. We built this whole truck out in the driveway under a tent from Job Lot.
Really?
Yep.
When'd you guys get? What's your name?
Michael.
Casey.
Pleasure to meet you.
Cool. When'd you guys get it done?
About 4 days ago.
No way.
Yeah. Probably
Did you?
like 50.
This is awesome. I like your dog.
That's my buddy's dog.
When did you guys get connected with the Concorde to come do that? What made you think to do this?
I don't know. We just
like the slick.
We just started hearing about it, and then when we got the acceptance letter, we said, "Hey, let's see if we
Let's
can
walk
pull
around
this
and look
off."
at it.
And
Really?
see
How
what we can
long
do.
ago did you get the acceptance letter? What stage of the game are you in building it?
We didn't even start.
You didn't even start yet?
No, we had the motor kicking around, and then we come in.
How did you BS your way into that?
We sent them pictures and everything. We own the truck.
It's okay.
You know,
you can admit to me and my YouTube guys that you BS your way into that because that's something I would do.
Well, they just got the acceptance letter. They didn't know we were going to do this, and we were like, "Hey, let's."
Did
see
you
if
show
we
them a
can
picture of
pull
a different truck?
Of the stock
No,
truck.
we had the truck like this, but
Oh,
just
okay.
didn't see, they just didn't see anything underneath.
You didn't know you were going to tear the whole thing apart.
Nope. And then
So
when we got the
you
letter,
yanked
so-
the front end off, front clip,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And everything. We hung a real nice race car style suspension on it.
I saw it's like Mustang 2 variant.
It's all ride tech.
Ride tech
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Is it on springs or like bags or something?
Coilovers.
Okay, cool. I like that. You got a real nice radiator now going on there. Willwood brake stuff.
Yep.
I see your proportioning guy there. So I see some drag slicks back here.
Yep.
What you got for a drivetrain rear end?
Well, unfortunately, we have a transmission that doesn't really work.
It doesn't work? How'd you get here?
I mean, it works.
What tranny is
if
it?
we want, it's an old school top loader.
Okay.
But if we do want, we're gonna put a tranny in probably next year. We can try and see.
All right, that's cool. Let's see what happens when you hook it. Push stuff on brake. Whose bike?
Mine.
Nice. Is it a Trail 70? That's what I thought. It looks pretty small.
Yeah, it looks like a nice.
I like it. The truck looks good. And it was already painted kind of like this when you did it? So you got a decent shell.
Yes.
And then you just built it the way you want.
Yeah, we did everything else.
What would you tell for young people out there that want to build their own truck? Like how you can do an awesome build but not just break the bank. How do you do it and make it work economically?
Just do whatever you want.
Be clever?
Yeah, use the hardware store, use anything you have.
Creative.
I love how you made a cooler into your battery box and your cutoff
That was my
valve.
grandfather's.
Was that his idea, or did you steal his cooler?
My dad gave me that. That was my grandfather's, and I was like, man, we should use that for something.
That's sentimental. That's nice. I like that.
Thank you.
We tubbed this truck as well. We used factory pieces to emulate the factory style wheel well.
Oh, did you really?
Unless you know
So
that it's only this
Yeah.
wide stock, you'd never know.
So did you take two wheel? Did you cut the one wheel out here and then just add extra?
We got a factory piece and filleted it right, and I welded it right in
I
there.
like that. You're right, Tom. This is pretty darn good.
See, I met him on the street.
I always dress like this. No.
Why not, man? Different strokes for different folks.
I know,
That's
right?
the beauty of it.
I know, right? Yeah,
He
yeah.
builds airplanes, race cars, drives race cars.
I do actually build stuff. I'm never this clean. This is the cleanest I've ever been.
And he built a 38-foot wingspan pterosaur flying dinosaur.
I did do that.
It actually
Here,
flies.
check us out if you want. Genius Garage. I lead an educational program for college students with engineering. We do stuff with pro-level racing cars, building airplanes and stuff. Did you ever watch Vin Wiki? If you watch Vin Wiki, I do Vin Wiki stories. I got my YouTube channel. So if you look that up, you can find me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Glad
If I
to
love your
meet
truck.
ya. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Reach
it.
out to me on Instagram or something.
Absolutely.
I love the truck, by the way. Good job.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Where'd your buddy go?
Don't know.
We lost
Disappeared.
him. We got a
Well.
Skyline. So I think those two guys are pretty
Oh,
good.
he's right there. Right there behind us.
Oh, there you are. You still rolling?
Yeah.
Thanks for showing me the truck. Oh, appreciate it. Good job. Thank you. Yeah?
Well, no. This is one of my clients. This is Casey with the Genius Garage.
Oh, no way.
I met him in the street
Oh, nice.
2 days ago. And I said, best car here.
Yeah, definitely. We
Most
do
creative. You got to fire.
pro-level road racing cars and build airplanes, stuff like that for college students. Yeah, guys.
They restored
do
a
the things
World
you
War
can
I
experience,
fighter
good job.
plane.
Yeah, that's definitely something I would like to do.
And he built a working turbine Batmobile.
Yeah, I did that. Check that out if you want. You can also find my name on YouTube, or I do Vin Wiki stories too. So,
Oh, yeah?
good job on the truck. I hope you enjoy your day.
Did you see the valve cover, what I was telling you about?
Yeah. Sure. So I traveled here and I forgot my tie and like half the things. So I'm really like lazy Jay Gatsby right now. But I see a buddy of mine who's gonna hook me up. How are you doing? Yeah. Good to see you too. So can you fix me up and not so I'm no longer lazy Jay Gatsby?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this.
You got a
right.
tie?
I do.
Okay, good.
Well, you know, your clothier always has.
Yes. Okay, so John, you are who? What do you have? You have a business.
So I have a V Collection in Sylvania, Ohio. It's a clothing store. I also have Chapello hats, which we make bespoke hats.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, Ohio, 100% American made.
Well, the hats and the old jig you have to take people's size and stuff, it's actually an antique one for, what, 100 years ago or something?
Yeah, it's Victorian era.
Wow.
So late 1800s.
I still haven't seen that.
Yeah, I got it in the car.
I also, this is 3-button, which I'm not accustomed to.
Yeah.
Typically 2-button.
Yeah.
And I buttoned it, and I had my wife's arm around it. We were walking in, and I buttoned it off one when I kept walking. I'm like, and then I looked down later, I'm like, oh, I'm all kinds of crooked.
You're just offsetting for the...
I thought I was cool. I thought it was because I had my arm out. And then I realized I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's all good.
So anyway, V Collection in Sylvania, Ohio,
Yes.
and Chapello hats.
That's right.
Spectacular. Awesome, man. I'll catch you in a little bit.
Yeah, sounds good. It's a pleasure, bud.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a tie now. I don't look like an idiot. So we should look at some pretty cars. So the Vin Wiki guys that saw the story on the Auburn Bowtail Speedster and me dressing like this is the real life Jay Gatsby. Well, remember I said I wanted a Duesenberg dual cow Phaeton. Yeah, that's not, but it is dual cow, which is very pretty. Come here and look. So driver and passenger up here obviously has the front windscreen, but you have a second one, which is cool. You sit way here in the back, so that's where the dual cow comes from. This folds up and the door opens up and you sit down in here, and there's a lot of room. It's great for riding around in the back. Now the true genius of this car is if you get a chauffeur's license, and you have it registered properly, and you have a chauffeur, since it's dual cow and you're separated from the driver's compartment, you can legally drink in the back.
How do you communicate with the chauffeur? I don't see any speakers.
You just yell, cell phone. You don't care. Let's go look at some other stuff. I'm thinking brass hair. Peyton.
Yeah.
You were helping me build that Auburn from 1917.
I was, yeah, I am.
Wooden wheels.
Yes, sir.
What do you think of that?
It's an entirely different era, and it confuses me, but also makes total sense.
It's great. It is. So brass era, we're talking pre-World War I, beautiful, and it's known from all of the brass. Obviously, that's pretty simple. But the wheels, the spokes, and the rims here, on the minute that's painted this teal color, that's actually wood. Of course, the hub is steel, and this outer rim that holds the tire in the inner tube is also steel, which is nice because it's quicker. When you change a tire, you simply unbolt it here, obviously the car's jacked up, and the tire with the steel rim slips off. You put it in storage on the side of the car and put on the new one and then clamp it down. And Peyton was helping me do that on the Auburn. Of course, this car's earlier, and you can see it as a chain drive on either side, which is rudimentary, but it's pretty darn cool to see. You can see it right here. Big old chain drive each side. And then you can also see the big drum brake, mechanical drum brake. And this right here is a friction dampener, so it's effectively your shock. And you've got the leaf spring, which is exciting too. But it's a great car, and they are simple. So if you notice, on modern cars and sports cars especially, when you're going fast and you want your brakes to work, you have weight transfer, the brakes in the front are bigger. Well, in this time period, you don't even have front brakes. Frankly, you're not going that fast for it to matter, and it keeps it stable. But that came a few years later, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful car. And then even the ornamentation of the horn, isn't that fun? You got your big bulb here for the driver, you squeeze that, shaped like a dragon or lizard. And then of course, here's the tire I was talking about with the steel rim already in place. So this is in place with your leather straps. So if you get a flat, you can jack it up, you unbolt the rim with the tire, off you go, put that one on, swap it out. It's pretty nice. This is also the reason why I like old and vintage and antique cars for Genius Garage, because young engineers, if they have never seen this sort of thing, those ideas are lost to history. So even though these cars are old and in almost all intents and purposes irrelevant to modern society and industry, they still have so many great lessons to teach with their engineering throughout. So, you know, for instance, maybe someday there'll be a usage in the future with cars, with vehicles, where something like those wheels with that rim that comes right off and bolts on is relevant. Maybe that'll be one of the young mechanical engineers that does something with space travel, and they think back to the old days, and of course you're not going to have tires in space, but maybe it's a shaped metal alloy tire like the old Moon Rover, and it gets screwed up, and you need to swap it. So these cars do have so many great lessons to still tell, and that's why a Concours is still relevant and important. Peyton, what should we go look at?
Oh, dealer's choice, maybe some 30s cars?
Yeah, you know, the 30s from the late 30s, like this Cord over here.
Yeah.
Cord Beverly or whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm not as into because they started getting more modern. I like them when they had taller, skinnier wheels coming over here. So
I really love that Alfa Romeo.
This here? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys look well over here to the left, with the cars with kind of the open fenders, they're tall. You're talking late 20s, very early 30s. It's sort of like 1929 through 30, 31, 32, even over it into, we've got a Duesenberg in here. But right here, you're starting to get into the mid-1930s. You can see how they became much more modern, kind of a unibody-ish type of construction, and the fenders are fared in. And then you get all the way up to here, and then you're starting to talk, you know, 1940s, 1950s. So really, that was a huge time, the evolution of the automobile, from the late 20s until World War I effectively, and oh God, I screwed up, World War II effectively, and right after that. So that's when the big changes occurs. And if you guys watch any of my videos when I start talking about cars in the future and whatnot, and I say things like the automobile hasn't changed much since the mid to late 1930s, that's what I mean. We're still making cars effectively the same way. So interesting, let's go check it out. So Cord, of the same company conglomerate effectively, is Auburn, Cord, and Duesenberg. Interesting car. One thing, it's front wheel drive. Flathead V8, which is interesting, and the shifting, if you want to see that, is actually done with vacuum controls. and this dainty little shifter here on the steering wheel column. It's got kind of a little gated shifter, sort of like a Ferrari. You can see that well, which is fascinating. You put it in a little more so you can see the gate. There you go. You might think that's cantankerous for the 30s, but actually it works rather well when you get it to be right. And if I'm not mistaken, I got to think about this. I'm not sure if you really have to clutch it so much as let off, but I could be wrong so I don't want to speak wrongly. But this is where, effectively, I think the modern automobile really started evolving at this time period, and this is 1936. But if you go back a little bit, I like the earlier character, especially the really lavish luxury cars. Which you see down this way a little bit. Hey, is this the Alpha you like?
I love it.
What do you like the most about it?
I just think it's a lot. I love the way the front flows.
It's very
back. Oh, it's gorgeous. And then the suicide doors in the back are very
slightly
cool.
modern with the way the whole cabin is, but I like how it still has lots of old world charm. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Got some nice Jaeger gauges. All right, let's go down here.
Oh, really?
You can't beat a big, beautiful Packard, can you? So this one's 32, and you guys remember from the Ben Wiki story of my Auburn, this is effectively the same exact year range as what my Auburn was. Of course, this is a much bigger, more luxurious car. Mine was a little more sporty for that time period. And for you guys that saw the unveiling of the new Aston Martin DBS GT Zagato, and you notice those diamond-shaped teeth-like things on the front grille, they actually turn. So if you want more air in the engine, they open up, and if you want to flow over the car more, they close. Well, this is much the same way. The grille on here, these will actually rotate, kind of like a Venetian blind, and open it up. Right now they're closed. So if it's cold out or your engine is cold, you keep them closed, and then later open them up to have more airflow through. And you even see that in one way, you can have different louvers on the side of the car, the hood, that will open and close depending on your temperature. So it's pretty exciting. Even back then, this is something that young engineers can actually still learn a lot from. Back in the 20s, the engineers, they had to be very smart because we didn't have the computer science or the material science as we do today. So if you had to design something back then, you had to be pretty smart. Bugatti Veyron, right? 16 cylinders, la la la. That was done in the 30s. This is when a Cadillac was a Cadillac. V16, right? Now the other thing for a lot of people think modern, colors like this really were something used at this time period. They were just as ridiculous with colors. I have seen pre-war cars at a Concours and thought to myself, all right, I don't know who thought to paint it that color. There's no way it was like that, and it was. So, you know, cars were just as exciting as Veyrons and Chirons and things like that are today, but this was from the early 30s. And frankly, I think it's got more character than those cars today. And secret for all you young people, yeah, you can go pop on a Veyron or a Chiron or a Koenigsegg, whatever, which frankly you probably can't drive to its limit anyway. Or you can have some class, get one of these, which will be a family heirloom forever. You're gonna have a lot less money in maintenance costs. And guess what? You're gonna steal the show at every single party there is. And I promise you, all the ladies will wanna ride with you. And that's good because you can fit more in them than a Veyron or something, all right? Isn't this great, Peyton?
Oh, it's awesome.
What do you think of the green with the black?
It's so cool. It's really bold. I can't imagine how much it would have popped in the 30s.
Especially when people drive around on like Ford Model A's and such.
Right. Yeah, it's a total statement. I mean, you would stand out as much in this as you would driving around in an F1 car today.
Oh, for sure. I wonder if this one has a golf back door. Let's see.
A golf back door?
No, got some tools there. Ooh, I don't see any. Well, something else that's neat on some of the big cars of the time period, and my Auburn Bowtail Speedster had. This one doesn't have it, but I'll show you where it would be. On a number of cars of the time period, you'll see a little square door right about here. And that wasn't just a small trunk space, it was literally to put your golf bag. You just slided it. So it kind of fit with the whole scene back then in the country club life. But this Cadillac is just gorgeous. You want to go check out some race cars?
Let's do it.
Oh, you know, we got a golf bag door there.
Oh, yeah.
Just slide it in. But on this one, you'll notice it's also got a rumble seat, so you can sit in the back. So if there's nobody riding with you in the rumble seat, you've got it closed, you got your golf bag door to throw things in there like that, and then these are a lot of fun. You think that's DOT and OSHA approved today?
It's hard to see.
Maybe not.
They ruin all the fun. There's a door too.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we got some. You know, Maseratis are really kind of underrated in a way. Everybody remembers Ferrari, but Maseratis had every bit of the character and racing pedigree back in the day. And that is a Zagato, so that's pretty exciting too. You guys remember when they unveiled the Aston Martin Zagato? This is a Maserati Zagato. Zagato was a separate company that basically made the cars cooler, both in their coach building and sometimes speed. Yeah, the thing I like about this Maserati here, this sports racer, it's not over restored. It drives me crazy when people do that.
The main thing is that
come here and look.
very evident.
This better reflects how this car actually would have been and raced. You know, you can see the wear on the aluminum. You can see kind of the rudimentary bent tubes that were welded and such like that in the side of the space frame. This is actually what a vintage race car is supposed to be. So when you see cars that are beautiful, that's wonderful, they're preserved, they look gorgeous, but that's more representative of what they actually were in race back when. So now, this car has an interesting story, and I don't remember it entirely, so you guys are going to have to look it up. But basically, it's called an Osca, O-S-C-A, which effectively, in Italian, was a acronym for, yeah, we're the brothers that made Maseratis and such, but we got kicked out, so we're going to go make our own cars, and our acronym means we're anonymously building cars. How cool is that?
Keep going. Yes.
Real nice interior. This is a special car. It's a Le Mans prototype for Nash Healy. So obviously we got Italian cars. And you start seeing the character of the British, the Bulldogs. Sort of reminds you of that time period of the Jaguar C-Type, but Nash Healys were nothing to turn your nose up at. And this is a lovely car. Very well restored. They didn't take it too far, but they took it as far as they should. It's nice. So Bugattis, right? Big Bugattis, Veyrons, things like that, Type 37. This little guy is also a Bugatti. Hey Taylor, it's a cute girl Bugatti. Check it out. All right, we're gonna make this important. Review this Bugatti.
It's cute.
It is cute.
I like it.
Why do you like it?
It's small.
Yes.
I like small cars.
Yes. Do you think you could drive it?
Perhaps. I don't know. Maybe.
We'd have to snuggle if we drove it.
We're small.
You would steer, and you got the brakes and the shifter outside, so you have to stick outside and shift it.
I don't know if my arms are long enough.
No, maybe not. You could lean. Here, I'd push you. Okay. That is a very nice car.
Yes.
Copper gas tank. All the history's here. So if you guys are going to appreciate the Veyron, the Chiron, you got to know where the roots are, and there they are. This Type 37 is beautiful. One of the racing Bugattis. I really like this one. The lighter blue, the way it's painted, it's subtle. It's not overdone, you know? I drove it so long. That's great. Have a look inside of the cockpit, you guys. It's basically like getting inside a mechanical wash to racing. I love it. Still got cable actuated brakes and everything going on. It's really a man's car, you know? It had not, they didn't worry about things like safety. They worried about doing the job right and doing it well. This was when it was man and machine. That is a machine. So that's where the love comes from. But still, so many wonderful lessons to learn here from young engineers. Just ways to think about mechanical engineering, and of course appreciating history and doing it somewhere really pretty. But I think on that note, you want to go check out the 30 under 30 guys more?
Let's do it.
Take a last look. So, me doing Genius Garage for the last 6 years, obviously I care about students and young people and utilizing things like this, the history and the connections all, to help them better their careers and futures. So at this Concours, the All-Drains Newport Concours d'Elegance, I'm actually really happy because apparently Jay Leno gave them the idea to do the 30 under 30 class. And that's exactly what we've got over here. So they're actually giving younger people the opportunity, if they haven't gotten into these big league, over-the-top, historically important cars, to bring what they've got. And they got some wonderful cars. They're all vintage cars and interesting cars that these young people have less than $30,000 in. And I've spoken with some of them, and they're restoring their own cars, building their own engines. So I'm really thankful for that, because finally we've got a beautiful thing like this where everybody's actually thinking of the future and young people and getting them involved. So let's go check them out.
I know about cycle. I know they have a little. Yeah, you need two babies.
We talked about the Corvair. That was fun. Yeah. That looks like they're all walking around. You want to look at the BMWs?
Yeah.
They're pretty. And this one's from Rhode Island, close by. He's got like DOT racing tires on it. Kind of a rally steering wheel. I like it. Good taste. You know, I've had a bunch of people get kind of grumpy, like old muscle car guys and baby boomers, saying that young people and millennials can't fix or do anything. You guys need to get out more. It's just not the case. Check out the interior in this one. Got the Corbeau racing seats, MoMA Prototipo steering wheel. I like the yellow gauge in the center. It's got a bit of roll cage. It's a good car. I wonder if he races. It's got a Petrolicious sticker.
That's actually where I saw this car on YouTube, was in a Petrolicious episode.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Can we call these Rocket Bunnies since they're bolted on?
Oh, they're just bolt-on wide body fenders.
I know,
yeah.
they are.
But yeah.
But Rocket Bunny would be more like the Nissan down there. So you want to check that out?
Right.
So, okay, those cars are European. That's what's classically fancy for something like this. But check it out. He's got Zira. So 1990, I'm thinking this was originally, you know, JDM car sold in Japan because it's still right-hand drive. And that it's older than 25 years, you can import it to the States and actually get some pretty good deals on them still. Let's check it out. So he's got the stock seat and the passenger on the left. You can see the simple cloth that came in the Skylines, right? Still nice. And a little updated one with some villains harnesses for track days and whatnot. I like that. I like this little knob and the Nardi wheel, kind of old school. It's a good car. What do you think, Dave?
I love GTRs, especially R32, R33, and R34. All three generations I adore.
What's your favorite part about it?
I just love the overall stance and look. They're very aggressive.
Yeah.
You can tell they were built with a purpose.
You never were around when I drove one that was at a dealership I did. We had one just like this. And the thing that I thought was super cool, let's see if this is got. Yeah, check out this gauge right here. Top left of the gauge cluster, it says the front torque. And that's a gauge telling you how much torque is being applied to the front wheels when you're driving it. And I remember one night, the parking lot was wet, so I wouldn't be beating on it. I think, I'm gonna go drift this car, the Skyline. And because I want to see if this gauge still works and what it does. And what I found out with the Skyline from this era, when you go out and actually go to power slide it and drift it, it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. I couldn't believe how well they did to make the torque bias to the front when you need it. And this car can make anybody look like a drift champion. It was absolutely unbelievable. It was so much fun to watch that, and it was so easy. Just sit there and pirouette and transition and slide around. And I immediately understood where drifting had to have come from because it was perfectly suited for it. All right, so a big 20s Bentley is really where it's at for me. They have huge victories and histories racing at Le Mans and everything like that. But the thing that I love about these, it's a big British tank, basically. It's a car that you'd expect to work on and drive cross country, and kind of the perfect car to do Paris to Peking and just go across the wilderness of Mongolia in style and history. And I kind of like that. So if I ever had my dream go buy a French chateau and not drive cars anymore, just ride horses in town for fun, and just have one cool car to bomb around in, it would probably be a 20s Bentley. I love it. Hey Peyton, look, issue cars, carburetors, like your Spitfire.
Just like the Spitfire.
That's where they came from.
So and if you only got 2 of them, just like the Spitfire.
Just like your Spitfire. Peyton, this car is basically just like your Spitfire.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, the engine might be a tad bigger, maybe a couple cc's.
You know what I like best about this car is you can tell it actually gets used. I think that's spectacular. It's also neat to see some of the tricks like on the leaf springs here. You see I have cord wrapped around it so you can keep it lubricated and it just doesn't get washed away when you're driving around and splashing puddles of water and such. And the leather covers here for the rod that turns with the brakes and whatnot. It's just awesome.
Very cool.
But anyway, guys, this is the Audrain's Newport Concord Elegance and Motor Week. Where are you going? Come here.
You see behind us, I mean,
I hope you guys have enjoyed today. Totally random having Jay Leno just bust into our YouTube video, but I don't think you guys mind. He's always a good guy, and it's exciting to have young people here. And I hope you like our style of crashing the Concord as Gatsby and you're Jordan. Forget Daisy. She's boring.
Okay.
All right. What do you want to say to these goofballs?
This is definitely a one-of-a-kind trophy.
I don't know. I don't really have anything. I think you pretty much covered it.
Okay. Last tip. If you're going to dress inappropriately in somewhere, as long as you do it with enough style and class, they'll let you get away with it. So, want to go find out where the bar is?
Sure.
I hope you guys will like, comment, and subscribe. See you next year at the Concord.